Part 166. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1651. Killing them will allow us to increase the combat effectiveness of the First Black Iron Legion more quickly. A time of war. Military law must be strictly enforced. Fang Fan snorted secretly, and his eyes became sharper and sharper. This feeling is extraordinarily real. From today onwards, Galen is your acting Legion commander. You need to follow his orders. Those who disobey the military order, beheaded. Those who obey the military order will be rewarded. Starting today, we will select 1,000 people with the best performance from the army every week, and each will be rewarded with a Star Corps. Priority promotion to the military position. I hope that everyone will do their duty and fight to the end for God War. Fang Fan suddenly soared into the air, glanced eagerly around, and then expressed his wish. Various thoughts churned in his mind, and this feeling became real invisibly. A big stick in one hand, sweet dates in the other. Although the routine is very old, as long as the details are in place, the effect will not be too bad. The First Black Iron Legion, with 100,000 troops and 100,000 Imperial elites, is also the key force under Fang Fan's command. My lord, there are people coming from the temple. Hao Yun rushed over from the side in a hurry. His face was flushed. While talking, he made a sound of wheezing. Someone from the temple. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, thinking secretly in his heart. He seemed a little vacillating. He was not quite sure whether the visitor from the temple was a friend or an enemy. 15 minutes later, Xingyu Island, the central military tent. At this moment, those members of the 308th Bronze Legion were already waiting here. A middle-aged man in a deep red robe picked up Fang Fan from afar and nodded with frequent smiles. Nangong Red Clothes Archbishop, why are you here? After Fang Fan came to the visitor, the vigilance on his face instantly relaxed. Seeing Nangong lay like this, it shouldn't be a big problem. According to the order of Dongguo Saint, come to reward and promote you. This time you led the elite to defeat the 203rd Bronze Legion of the Dark Temple Spectre Legion, and even directly killed its bronze-ranked Legion commander and supervisor, and captured the flagship and the Bronze Legion's flag. Master Dongguo praised you for a while. While Nangong Lei was talking, the smiles on his face became more and more. Fang Fan was introduced by him to enter the Temple of the Light Alliance. To a certain extent, they are a union of interests. One prospers and one loses all. This is the reason Nangong Lei still very clear. In addition, Nangong Lei admires Fang Fan's supreme belief. After all, Fang Fan is officially defined as a believer in God. Thank you Master Dongguo, thank you Archbishop Nangong Red. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, thanked Nangong Lei incredulously, and then looked at Nangong Lei calmly. The so-called commendation can't just be these two sentences verbally, can it? Seeing Fang Fan having a happy conversation with Archbishop Nangong Lei Hong Ai, Wenquan, the commander of the 308th Bronze Legion, and Xianan, the inspector of the First Black Iron Legion, standing respectfully by the side, stood uneasy. After all, they had a clue in Fang Fan's hands. Just because they lied about the military situation and claimed that their Bronze Legion had lost more than half of it was enough to ruin their reputation and even be dealt with by the military law. There is a slight sense of panic, which is a routine operation. You still don't see rabbits and don't scatter eagles as always. The country is easy to change, and the nature is hard to change. Nangong Lei looked at Fang Fan staring at him. How could he not know what he was thinking? Immediately followed by a sigh of emotion. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1652. Order of the Dongguo Saints. Bishop Fang Fan made outstanding achievements during his tenure as the 203rd Bronze Legion of the Qinglong Legion. He made great contributions to the prestige of the Temple of the Light Alliance. Special promotion to the priesthood by half a level. Reward contribution points of 1 million. Grant the deputy 4th rank acting archbishop robes. I hope that Bishop Fang Fan will continue to contribute to the temple. As Nangonglei spoke, his eyes became brighter and brighter, and he secretly sighed in his heart that the treatment of believers in God is different. How long has this guy joined the temple? A month. In just such a short time, the level of priesthood has been raised again. If this trend continues, I'm afraid it won't be long before he can directly catch up with him. Nangonglei felt a lot. Fang Fan sighed softly, with some regret on his face. Pity. There is no direct promotion to the 4th rank archbishop. Promoted to half a level, and given the title of deputy 4th rank acting archbishop. Fang Fan curled his lips. This official title is like a chicken rib, it is a pity to discard it if it is tasteless. That's it? Gone. Fang Fan waited for a while, and seeing that Nangonglei had stopped chanting, he blinked and said. Nangonglei was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes were filled with confusion. What do you mean just, gone? Does it sound aggrieved? Still not satisfied? Don't be too greedy, kid. Sage Dongguo has made an exception and promoted you. It's very good that a guy like you who has entered the temple for less than a month can be treated like this. Nangonglei gritted his teeth and said angrily. Recalling what he was doing when he entered the temple for less than a month. Mixed with a 10th grade priest's priesthood level, and then bumped into walls everywhere, knowing nothing, knowing all kinds of nonsense. Compared with Fang Fan, his life was full of tragedies. Nangonglei thought of this, and his emotion was even more profound. It's just, so. Nangong Red Clothes Archbishop, when do you think I will be able to take your position? I really can't, I can also be a 4th rank Archbishop. It's almost enough if you tell me what kind of battle honors you need to make. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, then secretly shouted and looked at Nangonglei, looking expectant. Latent the goal of the initial mission is to be promoted to become the 4th rank Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. After completing the initial mission, Fang Fan will be able to directly obtain the rewards of 10,000 strands of divine power and a holy artifact of faith. 10,000 strands of God's source power is a million strands of God's source power. Only with these can Xiao Xiao and Zantianjian be revived. Fang Fan sighed softly, memories flooding. You kid, don't look at this mountain and look at the height of that mountain. You have just been promoted to become the deputy 4th rank acting archbishop. If you want to continue to be promoted, it will take at least 100 years. Unless you can kill a 2nd rank cardinal dark god envoy of the Dark Temple or demolish one of their branch temples, don't think so much. This time, your kid was able to advance to half a level so quickly, mainly because of the appreciation of Dongguo Saint and the current need for a young role model in the temple. Nangonglei talked a lot, and Fang Fan basically understood it. Probably the reason why he was able to advance half a level this time was mainly because he was lucky enough to catch up with the wind, and then took off. Next, it will be even more difficult to take off again. The temple wants to maintain its dignity and height, and it strictly controls the promotion speed of the clergy. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1653. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and the enthusiasm that was burning just now was inexplicably extinguished. What the hell? Co-authored labor and management have to go through a wave of qualification reviews in the past 100 years. Why are there so many doorways in this temple? At this moment, Xianan, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion standing respectfully by the side, couldn't help showing jealousy on his face. He is also the deputy 4th rank acting archbishop. He was half a level higher than Fang Fan before, but now he is on the same level. The ghost knows how much he has suffered and how many years he has endured in order to be promoted to the current priesthood level. And now, after hearing that Fang Fan joined the Temple of the Alliance of Light within a month, he has been on an equal footing with him. Even in the 308 Bronze Legion, Fang Fan is a bronze level supervisor, and he will always be a black iron level supervisor. Jealousy can distort a person's complexion and make him lose his mind. This feeling gradually became more real. My lord, the Archbishop in red, we have already prepared the banquet, or let's chat while eating. Xianan became eager in an instant, and when he came to Nangonglei, his head was bowed silently, looking very obsequious. I won't go to the banquet, I have to go back and report. This time, I sneaked here to announce the reward. Nangonglei bit his head, and resolutely stopped, and it could be seen that he was really anxious. Nangonglei groaned, and then looked at Fang Fan solemnly. Little friend Fang Fan, the battle between the Temple of the Alliance of Light and the Temple of Darkness has reached a fever pitch. Xingyu Island is located in the southeast of Qingtian Sanctuary. It is the gateway to the southeast. It must be guarded carefully. If you are not careful, you may be torn open by the army of the Dark Camp. The next battle will definitely be more brutal, I hope you can be mentally prepared. Okay, I'm leaving after I finish speaking. Nangonglei explained a few words seriously, and then hurried away, coming and going in a particularly hasty manner. From Nangonglei's attitude, Fang Fan can also see some clues. For example, the current situation is very urgent, and the Temple of the Light Alliance is far less relaxed than imagined. In other words, in the battle against the Temple of Darkness, the Temple of the Alliance of Light is at a certain disadvantage. Of course, the magnitude of the disadvantage should not be too large, otherwise the whole system would have collapsed long ago. But even so, it must not be taken lightly. There are eggs under the overturned nest. If the Temple of the Alliance of Light can't support it, let alone the small Xingyu Island. After Nangonglei left, Wenquan, the commander of the 308th Bronze Legion, and Xianan, the supervisor of the 1st Black Iron Legion, each breathed a sigh of relief. The pressure just now was simply not too great. Inspector Fang Fan, it seems that Archbishop Nangong Hongai values you so much that he was promoted to the position of Deputy 4th Rank Acting Archbishop at a young age. Congratulations. Fang Fan's supervisor will have a prosperous career, but he must also pay attention to his words and deeds. My lord, Cardinal Duanmuo, asked me to give you a word. Keep things low-key. Xian Anpa, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion, said with a half-smile, his whole person always seemed to have a gloomy feeling. While talking, Duanmuo was involved by the way. Fang Fan glanced at Xianan and smiled lightly. No wonder the tone and attitude of this guy when he talked to him today has changed. It turned out that he found a backer behind him. Duanmuo, the acting cardinal of the 2nd rank of the Temple of the Light Alliance, had some friction with Fang Fan. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 1654. So? What do you want to say? Fang Fan squinted his eyes and looked at Xianan, the corners of his mouth raised silently. I'm just reminding Fang Fan the inspector, don't be so arrogant in your life and work in the future. Xianan held his head high, his posture vigorous. This guy really regarded himself as a person. A lot of nonsense. Report. Report to the head of the Legion. The 9 battle heads and 42 captains of the 1st Black Iron Legion were all disposed by Fang Fan's supervisory envoy military law. The messenger originally wanted to report directly, but when he saw Fang Fan, he shivered subconsciously, but he finished speaking according to his own ideas, but his body trembled unnaturally while speaking, and his eyes dodged from side to side, looked a little frightened. After the messenger finished speaking, Xian's complexion suddenly turned red. It's just that the head of the hot spring army can still calm down. Fang Fan's supervisor. What are you doing? Why did you suddenly execute so many people? What the hell do you mean by that? What military law did they violate? Also, why didn't the commander of the Hot Spring Corps instruct us to deal with so many high-ranking officers at the same time? Also, I am the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion, and I have the right to know. Why didn't you notify me in advance? Inspector Fang Fan, you are becoming more and more lawless now. Xian's face turned ugly for a while, and then he felt a pain in the flesh. These officers are all his savings. He originally planned to use this method to win the 1st Black Iron Legion back, but who knew that the plan failed, and all his confidants were gone. Are you questioning me? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, the sharp light flickered in them, and then he gave a soft drink, with high spirits. Xian subconsciously took 2 steps back. For some reason, looking at Fang Fan's eyes, he felt a sense of panic and uneasiness in his heart. This feeling is very real. But soon, Xian realized that it was too embarrassing. Fang Fan just glared at him, and he took a few steps back. In terms of momentum, it was completely lost. Humph. 308 Bronze Legion is not your word. Do you dare to disobey the order of Cardinal Duanmu? I am speaking to you on behalf of Cardinal Duanmu. You'd better keep a low profile. Otherwise, even Archbishop Nangonglei in red can't keep you. Xian suddenly puffed up his chest, striding towards Fang Fan's direction. While talking, the arrogance on his face was beyond words. Gradually, Fang Fan got closer. It seems that Fang Fan is going to be forced to kneel down and beg for mercy. Snapped. A loud slap sounded, and Fang Fan shook his arm. Xian's body was already thrown 7 or 8 meters away, and his face swelled instantly. You dare to hit me. I represent the will of Cardinal Duanmu. You're crazy. 308 Xian, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the Bronze Legion, roared, then glared at Fang Fan viciously, feeling incredible. With Mr. Duanmu as his backer, how could someone still slap him? Things beyond their control. In the 308th Bronze Legion, I am a bronze level inspector, and you are a black iron level inspector. You are under my jurisdiction. I do things, so it's your turn to tell me what to do. I'll give you a slap for being disrespectful to Shangguan, shouldn't I? You are the supervisor of the 1st Black Iron Legion, but you haven't been in the 1st Black Iron Legion for so many days, which is a serious dereliction of duty. From now on, you are no longer the supervisor of the 1st Black Iron Legion. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1655. Fang Fan strode forward and directly deprived Xian of his position as a black iron supervisor. You are not qualified to deprive me of my position as supervisor. I want to report to the temple, I want to. Snapped. Fang Fan walked over, lifted Xian up, and slapped him with a big slap. Any comments now? A wicked smile appeared on the corner of Fang Fan's mouth. In the 308 Bronze Legion, he didn't want to hide it anymore. Fang Fan, you don't want to be beaten into a trick. I won't accept it. I must. Clap clap. Clap 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 clap. The successive slaps formed pleasant notes, which sounded quite rhythmic. Soon, the face of Xian, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion, had completely swollen into a pig's head, and it continued to swell. I won't give in. What the hell are you trying to do? The head of the Hot Spring Army, save me, save me. 308 Xian, the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the Bronze Legion, turned his attention to Hot Spring, the head of the Bronze Legion, and wanted to ask for help. Fang Fan's supervisor, isn't that a little too much? Anyway, the supervisor of Xianan is also the deputy 4th rank acting archbishop of the temple. He is on the same level as you in the priesthood level. Treating him like this, is too much. Onsen said with a dark face and a dark complexion. At this moment, he even wanted to explode completely, but just now, he actually felt a breath of a strong man. Although it was only for a moment, he was sure that this strong man was stronger than him, and could kill him within 3 moves. He is already a 4-star sanctuary, so naturally this strong man who secretly reveals his aura must be stronger than him. 5-star sanctuary? Could it be Archbishop Nangonglei in red? He said before that leaving was just a gimmick, but he just changed himself from the bright side to the dark side. Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, didn't dare to make any changes at the moment, so he could only lightly persuade him. Fang Fan shrugged. Seeing the hot spring like this, he naturally knew what he was afraid of. In order to be safe just now, the silver-armored puppet in the 5-star sanctuary realm revealed a little breath. In order for the hot spring to perceive it, a full 10 seconds were wasted. Every minute is counted with more than 10,000 star cores, it hurts so much. Is it too much? What's more, it's still behind. Fang Fan sneered, twitched the 4-star holy sword on his waist, and then directly stabbed at the chest of Xianan, the first Black Iron Legion inspector of the 308 Bronze Legion. Stab. The blood shot out, and the free blood gave people a visual impact. You crazy, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Under Xianan's pain, Ming Se became terrified, and then let out roars. You said you wouldn't give in. I don't have a good temper, so, I want you to give in slowly. Every minute I stab you with a sword and cut off a piece of your flesh. Don't worry, I'm very measured, I won't let you lose too much blood to death. I will stick to the 3600th sword and complete an ancient ceremony. You must still be alive by then, and I will not kill you. You are different from the wild lion. You are a priest of the temple. If you kill you in public, I will also be responsible. But if it's just to punish the Black Iron level inspectors under my command, then there will be no problem at all. Fang Fan smiled, very happily. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1656. As Fang Fan spoke, the sword in his hand continued to stab Xianan's chest. At the moment of standing up, the posture must be displayed. Don't. The head of the Hot Spring Army, save me. Save me. 308 Xianan, the inspector of the first Black Iron Legion of the Bronze Legion, trembled, and the panic in his eyes made him go crazy for a while. He wanted to grab the hot spring as the last straw, but the hot spring remained indifferent from the beginning to the end, and finally turned around directly, saying out of sight, out of mind. Xianan is desperate. He didn't expect that Fang Fan would dare to be so presumptuous under the name of acting Cardinal of Duanmu. And the most hateful thing is that Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion who had a good chat before, chose to abandon him at this time. The anger and irritability in my heart are gradually boiling. It's just that in the end, I still can only sigh softly, let everything go silent. Now even if he is irritable and furious, it is meaningless, and it will only make himself more crazy. The blood was left bit by bit, and Xianan was terrified. Seeing that the holy sword in Fang Fan's hand was about to continue stabbing, Xianan trembled his lips, his sense of fear rose to the peak. Don't, I was wrong, Inspector Fang Fan, let me go, I don't dare anymore. I am willing to give up my position as the supervisor of the 1st Black Iron Legion. I just want to live. Who, let me go, please, let me go. Xianen knelt on one knee, his forehead was covered with cold sweat, and he was completely insane. If you don't admit it at this moment, you will really be completely cold. Tisk, you, voluntarily. Did I force you? Fang Fan blinked and smiled happily. No. No. Master Fang Fan, you never forced me, it was me, everything was voluntary. I'm not capable enough, I don't have enough virtue, and I feel that I am not qualified to continue to be the head of the 1st Black Iron Legion. I take the blame and resign. Xianen is about to cry, isn't he just saying whatever sounds nice now? People's holy swords are all around their necks, what else do they think about at this moment? Everything is bullshit. Very good. Fang Fan smiled slightly, looking very satisfied, and then put Xianen down, his body feeling smooth. People don't offend me, I don't offend others. If anyone offends me, I will pay back 100 times and 1,000 times. Head of the Hot Spring Legion, are you right? Fang Fan took 2 steps forward, then smiled and looked at Wenquan, the commander of the 308th Bronze Legion, and asked with a smile. Wenquan's face at this moment is naturally very ugly. Fang Fan beat the person who threatened him in his military tent, but he could only choose to admit it. Invisibly short a lot. It's just that the breath of the strong man I felt just now, is still very real. The matter has come to this point, there seems to be no other way except cowardly. Yes, Fang Fan's words from the inspector are naturally wise and famous. The corner of Wenquan's mouth twitched, and he forcibly pulled out a smile. The slight trembling of his body became bigger and bigger, and his thoughts gradually boiled at this moment. Very good. In that case, then I will go first. Fang Fan waved his hand and led the crowd away. The main purpose of coming here today is to meet Nangong Lai, and the secondary purpose is to beat Xianen, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion. In the recent period, this army leader has been quite restless. If you don't beat it again, I'm afraid it will really fly into the sky. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1657. In fact, Fang Fan knew very well that the reason why there were so many rebels in the 1st Black Iron Legion, and even threatened to lead the team away, in fact, the most important joints are Hot Spring and Xianen. Hot Spring is the head of the 308th Bronze Legion. With him as a backer, those rebels would be so arrogant. Xianen is the inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, after Kuang Lion, the head of the 1st Black Iron Legion of the 308 Bronze Legion, was killed. He has the highest reputation in the entire 1st Black Iron Legion, and he only needs to reveal a little bit of information. The turmoil of the 1st Black Iron Legion was born. Of course, Fang Fan had other ideas, such as killing Hot Spring and Xianen directly, once and for all. But after careful consideration, Fang Fan gave up this unrealistic idea. Unlike killing a Black Iron level Legion leader like a Mad Lion, beheading a Bronze level Legion leader will definitely cause even bigger disturbances. In addition, that Xianen is still the deputy 4th rank acting Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. If he dies inexplicably, the temple will not let him go. Su Su Tuzzy, don't be in a hurry. From the moment I entered Xingyu Island, that Hot Spring and Xianen have been secretly plotting to get rid of me, as well as that dead Mad Lion, the same. Hee, you want me to die, so naturally I can't make it easier for you. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and there were streaks of light in his eyes. Such thoughts boiled in his mind, and the feeling became more and more real. Now that the overall situation of the 1st Black Iron Legion has been stabilized, all that remains is to put our own people in and use this legion completely for me. It happened that a large number of battle regiment leaders were cleared. It's not that troublesome to install a wave of cronies. Fang Fan meditated secretly, a smile appeared on his face, and his eyes gradually became sincere and persistent. This time the accumulation of military merits has been exchanged for the title of Deputy 4th Rank Acting Cardinal, and there are millions of contribution points. The Bronze Legion that defeated the Dark Temple before has also accumulated some contribution points. Behead a soldier in the Emperor's realm to get a contribution point. If it is a prisoner, send it to the temple and exchange it for 2 contribution points. Beheading an enemy soldier in the quasi-holy realm, you will get 100 contribution points, and the captives are also doubled in principle, you can exchange for 200 contribution points. Behead a low-level sanctuary, 1 to 3 star sanctuary, enemy general, get 10,000 contribution points, and double the captives. Behead an enemy general in the mid-level sanctuary, 4 to 6 star sanctuary, get 1,000,000 contribution points, and double the captives. The Bronze Legion that defeated the Dark Temple this time, the results are quite brilliant. Killed more than 137,000 enemies and captured 370,000 enemy troops. After exchanging those captives for contribution points, almost 3 million contribution points can be harvested. Part of the contribution points were distributed as rewards, and the accumulated amount in my hands is 2 million. Plus the 1 million rewards from the temple, or 3 million contribution points. 3 million contribution points are 3 million star cores, barely able to promote 2 or 3 10-star Emperor-level legions to low-level quasi-sages. If it is exchanged for the source power of God, it will be 30,000 strands, or 300 strands. It is still far from what I expected. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1658. Fang Fan sighed softly. The road ahead is long, and the responsibilities are heavy, and the road is long. The troops stationed in the south of Xingyu Island are still cultivating and training frantically. At present, in addition to the War Slave Legion and Human Emperor Legion, Fang Fan has newly added the 308th Bronze Legion, the 1st Black Iron Legion and the 3rd Black Iron Legion. It can be regarded as a skyrocketing 200,000 Emperor Master Realm combat power. The Slave Legion also ushered in the first wave of filling and expansion. The soldiers are naturally those captured Dark Temple soldiers. Select some Dark Temple soldiers who are not firm in their beliefs and have the desire to survive to flood the slave army, making the slave army's size once again exceed 100,000. Make up for the previous battle losses. As for the Human Sovereign Legion, currently there are 13 battle groups, with a total number of 130,000, but only 40,000 are still fighting, and the rest are practicing in the spirit gathering circle in the small world of Shushan Pavilion. A few days later. Ding! Gift of the Rage God. The cooldown period of the magic skill has been refreshed. The system sound came from the ear. Fang Fan opened his eyes silently, and the corners of his mouth raised silently. Unexpectedly, it was another month. Gift of the Rage God has a skill cooldown period of 1 month. Although it takes a long time, the effect is also very strong. Give those 10th level fanatics to use Gift of Rage God, and the energy released can be absorbed by 120%. And for Fang Fan's Servant of the Rage God, this effect can even reach 10 times. That is 1000%. Crazy, horrible, and with invincible energy. The 4 great pets are in place. It is said that Huang Gan, the deputy commander of the Emperor's Legion, is coming soon. Decree, Human Emperor's Legion's leader Huang Shan, Human Emperor's Legion's leader Huang Qian. Decree, Zhou Kaishan, head of the Emperor's Legion. Decree, Na Yan, the personal bodyguard. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and summoned the 4 great favorites and the other 6. The 4 great gods, Huang Gan and Huang Shi, are all servant gods under his command. Under the urging of the gift of the Rage God skill, it can achieve 10 times the effect, so it is natural to call it. As for the Baron Mountain, he is considered to be the earliest member of the Baron tribe who followed Fang Fan. He was the captain of Fang Fan's personal guard for a while before, and now he is also the leader of the Emperor's Legion, but he is still only a 5-star emperor. It's enough. Huang Qian is the leader of the tens of thousands of Huang people who have been recruited recently, and she is also a fighting madman. At present, it is already a middle-level quasi-sacred realm, and with a little training, it will definitely become a master. Zhou Kaishan has been staying in the human plane before, and his current cultivation is still at the true king level. It is indeed a bit low. Na Yan is the owner of the 7th class god-level heavenly secret star apprentice, 3-star emperor realm, needs to improve a wave, at least to have a certain self-protection ability. Although Na Yan's level is not high and his combat effectiveness is average, his role in the high-end battlefield can be called a magic weapon. Battle Control exclusive magical skill, which reduces the enemy's combat power by half and doubles the combat power of one's own side. It is worthy of the name of magical skill. One after another, everyone came separately. Master! My lord! Everyone shouted and shouted. Fang Fan nodded secretly, his eyes gradually became earnest. Everyone is ready. Prepare to accept the gift of Rage God. Fang Fan's eyes were burning like a torch, and he looked extraordinarily sharp. The faces of the people who had been bestowed with the gift of Rage God before suddenly showed joy. Huang Qian, who had never felt the benefits of it, seemed a little dazed. Because she just joined in, not only has she not been baptized by gift of Rage God, she doesn't even know its actual meaning. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1659. However, although Huang Qian's eyes were full of doubts, when she heard the words "the gift of the wild god," she still felt endless excitement in her heart. Rage God, the one in front of you is His Majesty the Rage God. She has won the favor of the Rage God. Is His Majesty the Rage God going to focus on everything about her? Huang Qian took a deep breath, her eyes flickered with light, and her gratitude was beyond words. Na Yan on the side was also baptized for the first time by the gift of the Rage God, but he had followed Fang Fan for a longer time, so he naturally knew what the gift of the Rage God represented and what effect it could have. At this moment, his eyes are full of excitement and gratitude. In his heart, there is even infinite admiration for Fang Fan. The Lord is truly a man of God. My Lord's methods are so powerful that no one can match them. The Lord is invincible in the world. Na Yan thought up to this point, and then waited silently. Everything was ready. Fang Fan took a deep breath, and immediately began to fully operate. Gift of the Rage God. Release the magical skills. Fang Fan snorted secretly, full of momentum. Activate the divine skill gift of the Rage God. Ding. Please choose the quality of the gift. Ding. It is detected that the strongest temple under the host's command is a 4th rank. You can use the following quality gifts. The gift of the pinnacle of the 4th rank requires the power of hundreds of billions of faith. The first class gift of the 4th grade requires the power of tens of billions of faith. The 4th grade medium level gift requires a billion wires of faith power. The inferior gift of the 4th rank requires the consumption of 100 million strands of faith power. Fang Fan. The number of power of faith required for this is already sky high. In the past, the human emperor's hall was an 8th rank power, so naturally there was only an 8th rank temple, so the corresponding 8th rank peak gifts only needed tens of millions of faith. But now the hall of human emperors is a rank -4 power, and the corresponding temple has also been promoted to rank -8. The power of faith required for the gift of the Rage God of the same level has skyrocketed by 10,000 times. Although the level of the temple has been improved, the number of believers that can be accommodated in the main temple and the sub-shrines is close to 100 million, but the current accumulation time is too short, so I only have hundreds of millions of faith in my hands. So it seems that you can only choose the lowest level of the fourth rank inferior gifts. Fang Fan sighed softly, although he felt a little regretful. This was the only effective method at present. As for the others, he could only choose to ignore them. Fang Fan nodded secretly, his thoughts gradually jumped. Choose the fourth grade inferior gift. Ding. Deducting 100 million strands of faith power, the fourth rank inferior gift selection is successful. Following the sound of the system, streaks of holy white light flickered in front of Fang Fan's eyes, and everything began to become illusory. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and his mind began to vacate. I saw that these holy white lights gradually turned into traces of pure energy and directly penetrated into the bodies of the 4 gods and 6 practitioners in front of them. The baptism of gift of Rage God has officially begun. Fang Fan vaguely looked forward to it, wondering what kind of changes this time would bring. When using the 8th rank peak gift before, under normal circumstances, it can improve the cultivator of the Emperor realm by several levels, and the cultivator of the quasi-sacred realm can be raised by about half a level. Of course, the number of people receiving gifts at the same time was smaller than it is now. It would be even better if we could get out of a few sanctuary realms. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1660. Fang Fan smiled slightly, and the look of anticipation on his face became more and more real. Such thoughts were churning in his mind, and everything gradually became the inherent appearance. The pets who received the baptism of the gift of the Rage God and the cultivation of everyone are stretching crazily. Among them, Zhou Kaishan, Na Yan, and Huangshan stretched the fastest, because they have the lowest level. They were being baptized, and Fang Fan also sat down and began to practice. Since he was promoted to the middle-level quasi-sacred realm in the Temple of Faith in the Temple of the Alliance of Light last time, he hasn't stabilized his realm very much, and he is relatively sloppy. In the quasi-sacred realm, if you want to upgrade a level, it is often based on 100 years. Of course, if there is a special opportunity, it is natural that they cannot be divided together as a whole. Fang Fan thought to himself, and silently closed his eyes. The time for the gift baptism is about 10 minutes to half an hour. The exact time is not certain, it varies from person to person. 10 minutes later, Zhou Kaishan stood up from the crowd first. Boss, I have been promoted to the 10-star Emperor realm. Thank you, boss. Zhou Kaishan directly came up to give Fang Fan a bear hug. This guy is a fast talker and not very expert, so he can only express his excitement with actions. You boy, this kind of opportunity is once in a lifetime, and you ended it so soon. There is no perseverance at all. Fang Fan laughed and scolded from the side angrily. It would be better if he could stay in the atmosphere of gift baptism as long as possible. Of course, this kind of thing is not something you can control yourself, it varies from person to person, and it seems extraordinary. I am already very satisfied to be promoted to the 10-star Emperor realm. I don't want so much. Boss is the best for me. Zhou Kaishan said with a smile, seeing that he wanted to give Fang Fan a bear hug again, but was kicked away by Fang Fan. Damn, don't be disgusted with Laozi. Fang Fan laughed and cursed. Master! Master! Huangshan and Na Yan woke up at the same time, each stood up, the excitement on their faces was beyond words. My lord, I have directly climbed from the 3-star Emperor realm to the low-level quasi-sage realm. Na Yan clenched his fists excitedly, and there was a hint of hoarseness in his words. One can imagine the eagerness and excitement in his heart at this moment. From a 3-star emperor to a low-level quasi-sage, this jump is not insignificant. Na Yan sighed with emotion that he used to be a 1-star and 2-star emperor. He thought that this would be the case in this life. It would be an excellent treatment to be promoted to a 7-star emperor after tens of thousands of years. But how long did you follow the Lord? 3 months? Or half a year? Now they have broken into the low-level quasi-sacred realm. Thinking back then, the power master of the 4th rank power he was in was nothing more than a quasi-sacred realm. Na Yan knelt down on both knees and kowtowed to Fang Fan one after another, fully expressing the gratitude in his heart. My lord, like brother Na Yan, I have also been promoted to the low-level quasi-sacred realm. Huang Shan scratched his head, and said somewhat honestly. Fang Fan nodded secretly. Before the gift baptism, Baron Mountain was a 5-star emperor, and Na Yan was a 3-star emperor. After the gift baptism, they were both promoted to the low-level quasi-sacred realm. This is already a huge leap and transformation. One after another, more and more people stood up and woke up from the state of gift baptism. The first to bear the brunt are the 4 great gods.